Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special edition of MRL Monday Night Mayhem Cup Series, Season 3. We're bringing you live action. You are looking at Pocono Raceway. We're going into race 7 of 10. Mean Gene Money, the voice of MRL, Zach Panzarella, Kevin Kyle, bringing you all the action. And as I said, we're at Pocono Raceway, also known as the Tricky Triangle, but I might not be the man to ask. Ladies and gentlemen, we actually have a man with a plan, Zach, on the track of the Tricky Triangle.
Yes, sir. Me and Gene, I am here in my next gen. Like I've said before, not my car of choice. I'm more of a truck guy, but I'll do my best to show you guys around this place. As you see with the graphic here, this place is known as the Tricky Triangle, but I'm calling it, since it's holiday season, the Frankenstein of tracks. Every track or every turn here is based off of an iconic turn elsewhere. This turn one here from a local speedway in New Jersey, Trenton Speedway, the most banked and, in my opinion, fastest corner of the track. And now every straightaway in this corner, in this track, so fast as we go to what's called the tunnel turn. This turn is based off of Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's easy to keep your momentum here, and we are in an out lap right now, so I'm gonna be very easy on these tires. And now we go to turn 3. This track with only 3 turns. This one based off the Milwaukee Mile. What's most important here is that I get a good run on off. I don't want to kill my momentum. I want to make sure I have this thing going as fast as I can. And off we go. That was a horrible exit, by the way. So here we go in 4th gear. I'm gonna shift up into 5th towards the end of this straightaway to get as much speed as I can. This NASCAR Next Gen, the only car with 5 gears. There we go, 5th gear into turn 1. Pretty hard on the brakes, about 20%, down to 4th gear to help this thing turn. Wait to feel it rotate, and let's try to straighten out that wheel. Again, the key to every exit here is to make sure you exit better than you enter. You can give up some entry, just don't give up exit, because look how long these straights are. I can go back up to 5th if I want, I'm going to. And now we're gonna go about 10% of the brakes, down to 4th, get to the bottom as best we can, keep our momentum, and then full throttle, and we're gonna go straight in the wheel again. And now the trickiest part of this Tricky Triangle by far to me, turn 3, the Milwaukee Mile turn. You want to get all the way to the bottom, but you don't want to let those tires spin. You got to be so patient on the throttle. As you see, I'm partial throttle. Now I'm gonna go full. You still see it wants to spin out. Kept it straight. An okay lap here, but I'll tell you right now, what you guys just saw me put down, that was not good enough to compete with these boys here today. They're gonna be putting down even faster than that. An excellent lap from them here. And let's hope that none of their brakes go out, like here, as the wrecks here can be terrible. Back to you, Mean Gene.
I'll tell you what, if you'd have seen me drive that car, you would have seen all of the above. Spins, wrecks, wall hits, and ruined brakes. Yeah, you're talking about the practice. They are putting down practice laps as we speak, and we're about 60 seconds away from those qualifying runs beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the XYZs of Pocono Raceway. It's Monday Night Mayhem, and we are MRL. What an intro, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing more American than apple pie and Monday Night Mayhem. That's right, Mean Gene Money here, my tag team partner, Zach Panzarella, KK, giving us all of the action here tonight. And we are here at Pocono Raceway for race 7 of our 10-race regular season. And I tell you what, Zach, this track is so tough, they didn't even run this thing last year.
They did not. They took this place completely off the schedule for last year. The last time they were here was season 1. And this track is a blast. I love this place. It does have a love-hate relationship with quite a few drivers in this league and quite a few people that I've talked to that like to race ovals. But at the end of the day, this track is iconic. It's beautiful. People who have visited this track in person rant and rave about how amazing it is. And we're about to see a lot of that today. One thing that did happen when you were here in season 1, there was only 13 people in that race, which is less than we have today, and there were 6 cautions. So we can expect a lot of calamity today.
Well, 18 guys did register for tonight's race. I'll tell you one guy who liked it, and that was David Owens. David Owens, he took the win in season 1. Not one of the faster guys in practice, but David Owens did manage to whip around that track, and looks like he's going to pick up that 4th place in qualifying, so he'd love to repeat his results from season 1. Going into this race, let's pull up those points and give other fans an idea of what exactly we're looking at. Coming off of last week's win at Nashville, we see Tony Iverson storming back into the playoff picture. Tony Iverson just 35 points behind Kenneth Rediger. Both these guys with 2 wins. Both of them are in the playoffs. Remember, this is a win and you're in. 12-driver playoff situation going to those last 7 races. Other men with a win, that's Jax Duvall and David Cook. But the rest of the guys, they're still fighting for this thing, Zach.
Yes, they are. And if you look at towards the middle of those standings, the gaps are just so unbelievably close between the mid-runners in this league. And it really just goes to show that one bad race can completely change your playoff outlook and how close you are to making this postseason, especially with only 4 races left to go. Something that you can highlight, like we're going to talk about, is David Cook. Without that win, he would be on the bubble last car in. His situation in terms of his mentality and the way he approaches these would be so different. So guys like Stitz, Smalley, Sanders, and a lot of ones that we can't even see in here, but have had been showing tons of speed this year, like Mata, are looking to join the conversation here as we look at our playoff picture. We already have guys that are so close below the bubble, some that are already potentially looking at must-wins. We'll take another closer look at this later on today. But the playoffs with so much left, still left to play for, with 4 races to go.
Yeah, playoffs looming. 4th through 9th place are separated by just 18 points. So those guys are really looking for a strong finish so they can start to get those playoff points. Speaking of playoff points, right now the winner in that, Tony Iverson, he's got 27 playoff points. Kenneth Redinger, 20. David Cook, 13. And then after that, it drops off, carrying those points into that playoff situation. But really, Tony Iverson, he's up 6 points with that win that he took last week at Nashville. So that's a guy we got to keep an eye on. Some fast laps here today in practice. Bobby Dodson, Michael Mata, David Cook. Mata's another guy we've seen him. He came up short last week, had to take a little splash and go with 11 laps to go. That cost him the chance at a win. But Michael Mata, he is a fast guy. He ran fast in practice. Zach, I wouldn't be surprised to see that guy running up front.
No, I would not at all be surprised to see Mata up front again today. He has had so much speed this year and just has not came together for him. As we've seen for a lot of guys in this league, it takes so much to win these races. It doesn't just take raw speed, it takes luck as well. And we're seeing, it looks like it's going to be Buddy Solly right now with our pole. Good for him. Buddy Solly, another guy on the outside looking in, hoping to get that win, to get his way into the playoffs. He's one of the guys who's had tons of speed, but hasn't run enough races to really have this same amount of points as other guys in the league.
Yeah, he's got 2 races right now. He did take a pole previously as well. So that's a guy we're used to seeing running really fast. And also clean, only 2 incident points per race. Buddy Sully, that's a name and a number that we're going to have to keep an eye out as this thing moves forward. Right now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, there are no cautions at the stage breaks. We are only going to have one stage one halfway point, and we're going to give points to the car that's in the lead at that halfway point, and then they're just going to keep on racing. We're racing 70 laps here today. There are 4 sets of tires, 3 in the pit, 1 on the car, and they do get 1 quick repair. Points will be awarded to that quote-unquote stage winner, but they're not going to stop, Zach. Right now they're saying they can make about 27 laps on a green flag run, and they're saying tires are not an issue, that you can just change them when you come in at that 27 lap point. Question is, you think anybody's going to try to push these tires further than those 27 laps?
Oh my goodness, just from doing Zach on the track there, I wouldn't. It's so loose on cold tires, but I can only imagine how tight, and I think eventually come back around to loose since it's going to be on the longer runs. So me personally, no, I would not. I would be very afraid to stay out on old tires here, especially with looking at these pole times or these qualifying times. These guys are extremely close together. So the matter of old tires versus new tires may be too big of an offset to overcome with how close the laps are together, or the lap times are together.
Yeah, this track is so long. You're looking at 54, 55 seconds. Is it really worth trying to save 8 seconds in the pit just to be punished with a 25 lap run after that? So that's not really something I think these guys want to do. Another story that we can talk about as far as the points go would be Jay Stinson. Jay missed last week at Nashville, and that dropped him 6 points. He's still in 10th. But Jay, usually a fast guy, he's going to have a lot to prove here today. Kind of middle of the pack, qualifying in 12th here today, but he was really upset about missing last week. You know, that storm cost a lot of people a lot of starts. Justin Parham, that's another guy. He's currently running 13th place. He missed a week 2 weeks ago because of that storm, so I'm really glad that he made it back, missed Phoenix. But he's back on the track now. A little story that I'm getting right now. I got a birdie whispering in my ear. Looks like Joe Volpus, the number 11th car in points, is not going to make the race tonight, Zach.
That is huge. And yeah, Volpus is the last car on the bubble with Cook guaranteed in with that win. So that is absolutely huge for us not to have Volpus here today. A lot of our heavy hitters. I mean, we have our defending champion on the outside looking in terms of points. Now we have Volpus, one of the guys who's run this league, who has the most wins in Cup Series history in MRL. We're going to be, I mean, yeah, definitely on the outside looking in after this one. Have we been able to get our pole sitter in here for an interview today? Is Buddy Sully available for us? Me and Gene, do we know?
I'm gonna take a look. I had one job, and I did not get that done.
Hey, this is new. We're trying a lot of new things today. We did Zach on track, and now we're trying to talk to our pole sitter as well. So, hey, it's a lot of moving pieces, right?
I am looking around. Here we go. Hey, Buddy Solly, Mean Gene Money up here. Zach Panzarella. Do I got your ears, buddy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bud, you just laid down a burner right there. What's your secret?
I don't know. I was kind of a little worried after practice. I think I finished practice in 4th or 5th or something like that. So I don't know what happened for qualifying or how I got up here.
Well, I'll tell you what, you were doing something right. It's better to be lucky than good any day. But as that's your second pole of the season, I'm not going to call it luck, my friend. You got 3 starts this year on the Monday Night Series, and you got 2 poles. What do you think? You got 18 guys out there. You think you're going to make it through the swamp and get a strong finish here today?
That's what I'm hoping for. Another thing that's on my mind is a fuel mileage race with the stints and how close the fuel is. So we'll just have to see how the cautions lay out.
Look at this. Buddy Solly's already counting backwards when you haven't even put 1 lap on the track yet. Buddy Solly, he's in that 21 car. Good luck out there, buddy. Keep it going, my friend.
Yep, thank you.
What a great point by Buddy to already be thinking about the fuel. We saw what happened last week, and I'll fill you in on something, me, Gene. If you didn't see, every single race last week in MRL came down to fuel. The Truck Series came down to fuel. Xfinity did, and so did here. And what's kind of interesting about that to me is in the Truck Series, we have 1 caution when we have the stage break. In Xfinity, there are 2 stages, and they both bring out a caution. And then here on Mondays, we have a stage, but we don't have a break for it. We have no caution. Didn't matter. Every race last week came down to fuel. So that is thinking ahead, and I would not be surprised if that is what this comes down to again today.
Unbelievable to think these guys haven't even put in one lap yet, and they're already starting to do math in their heads. You know, we do that core curriculum math here in Alabama, and counting backwards is just not part of it, Zach.
Yeah, it's really a crazy thing, and it's kind of funny that you do kind of have to be pretty good at math to be good in these races, particularly in MRL. I know that there's discussions about there being format changes next year in terms of fuel mileage and when certain breaks end. But in this league, and what's so beautiful about Mondays particularly, is when we get a fuel mileage race here, it's relatively organic, right? Like last week was an organic fuel mileage race, and the only reason we got it was because we got cautions at the right time, and then we got in a ridiculously long run. It seems like a lot of guys today are expecting another long run. Based on season 1, that's not what we're going to get. But again, based on the racecraft that we're seeing lately in this league, I also wouldn't be surprised if we got a long run. So you got to really prepare for both options here. Really smart of our pole sitter to be doing that.
Yep, 18 cars, really long track, so we are expecting to see them spread out. But with these next-gen cars, I've also seen that tendency for them to pack up, almost like super speedway racing in these long straightaways, which could create an interesting situation. You made a comment earlier, Zach, about the brakes holding up. Is that something that we could possibly see? Is the brakes starting to wear out, especially on a longer run where they're getting hot? I mean, you're using the brake every turn, right?
Yeah, you are, and I actually should have mentioned that during Zach on Track. That is a very unique thing about a track this fast. Most tracks that, you know, you're carrying around 180, 200 miles per hour around the majority of it, you'd be expecting to not be using the brakes all that often, but you're using them in every single corner at this racetrack. So that really does bring a different variable here. And man, me and Gene, I hope we don't see that. When I was referring to that, I was referring to the fact that the brakes have been have been responsible for a lot of the worst wrecks we've ever seen in real life NASCAR. I'm talking wrecks that a lot of people believe changed the trajectory of Jimmy Johnson's career. Easily the worst wreck of Bubba Wallace's career is here. And it always happens in turn 1 when the brakes just give up. So yeah, that is a very scary thing for these drivers to think about in real life. I'd hope that we don't have to deal with anything like that today, but you never know, especially if these guys really do try to stretch long runs. And like you talked about, these are long laps. You can pit here and not get lapped. So a lot of tomfoolery is going to be happening here. It's going to be our job to keep up with it, and hopefully we don't see any major mechanical issues for anybody. But man, the worst place that something can go wrong for you, it's that turn 1. You are going about 190 going in there.
You know, speed really comes down to mass and acceleration. I guess something that they could do maybe is try to take off some of the weight off that car when nobody's looking. But I think we saw how that ended up recently.
Too soon.
A little bit of shenanigans out there by that 48 team, Hendricks Racing. We'll hear some whining on Wednesday, but I don't think it's going to come through. You just can't be dropping weight off the bottom of that car. Right now, though, we can see on the track, Buddy Sully is leading them around. Hey, look on the outside. It is David Cook. I mean, let's call it what? Cook's Parkway.
Yeah, he loves that outside line. He loves that outside line, and you're so right. Good observation. He is so often there. As we go green into turn 1, and man, these cars are not waiting. They're already all over the track in that fast corner. Pay attention to who's able to keep their car underneath them. We might see some people get loose here. It's very slick on cold tires here at Pocono.
Really good first turn as we see the cars starting to spread out and also widen out. They tighten back up. Cook manages to take the lead, running that outside line and running it smooth. Buddy Sully's going to duck up behind him. We can see the 32.
Oh, Medina around. Medina around the tunnel turn. Big wreck in the tunnel turn. Oh, no.
He's got
hard to tell what happened there. Yeah, he does. He got sent going into the tunnel turn, and then he came back up, Mean Gene. Pretty much the worst case scenario as we take another look.
KK on the spot with the instant replay.
And yeah, Jose coming down not clear, and then coming back up and collecting a few others.
I think once he hit the grass, he was just SOL right there, Zach. There's not a lot you can do. I've seen slick aprons, but slick grass is even worse than that.
Absolutely, and when a car is facing that direction, you don't have a ton of control over that either.
Looks like he got hooked. I mean, this ain't MLK Boulevard. You know, we can't have hookers out there. What was that underneath him?
Yeah, it's hard to tell if it was a Medina getting hooked or Medina not being clear. It looked to me like Duvall was already there.
Yeah. That'll be a fun conversation.
It will be. It's a great way to start the race. Medina, 4th in a row, just not able to get out the early stages of these races without a big issue. Great angle here from Kevin Kyle. Let's see. Yeah, Medina just came down. I mean, he was so close to being clear. He was close enough to where I'm assuming his spotter didn't even tell him that he wasn't.
Came up, took out Duvall, and that looks like he also picked up the 26 of Mason Smalley. Really unfortunate for Mason. Mason picked up points last week to get himself into 9th. Not the way he wanted to start this race. Remember, drivers do have that quick repair, but you really didn't want to use it on lap 1, right?
No, exactly. And my assumption is the only one using that is going to be Medina. I absolutely think he will be. Smalley, not the way he wanted this thing to start. He had a great run last week. He had put himself in in a good position in the points, and now he's going to be fighting from underneath to begin this race. So not what he wanted, but it's not over. Another great thing about this track is there's a lot of time to fix damage. So some tracks, 2 minutes, 3 minutes of optional damage is a fast repair, right? That's not worth it. I'm going to go laps down trying to fix that. Not here. You can fix 3 minutes in 1 or 2 cautions.
And look, there you can see Jax Duvall right there. He was only in for just a few seconds almost. I wonder if he was just getting a time check on his car just to kind of see where he was with that repair. And now he'll zip around as fast as he can to catch back up to the group. So it really didn't affect the front of the group. We still got David Cook as your leader. He ran that outside line hard to take it over from Buddy Sully. Matthew Fritz. Matthew Fritz, he's kind of like the silent assassin. We're not talking about Matthew being in a lot of big battles, but he's sitting pretty right there in 4th place. He's only 10 behind Iverson for 2nd, 45 points out. But Matthew Fritz, that's another guy that, he's been quiet all year, but he seems to always find himself in a position to win, just as yet not had that luck. He's on that 2nd row. We got Bobby Dotson also on the 2nd row. David Owens, Michael Mata, Tony Iverson, Kenneth Redinger. Ooh, that is a murderer's row right there, that 4th row with Redinger and Iverson side by side. I wouldn't want those guys behind me.
Yep, we got the heavy hitters in the row, and Matthew Fritz, let's talk about him real quick. I'm so glad you said that because, I feel like every time we're watching back a broadcast, I realize that we didn't talk about this guy enough, and he is always there. And I'm the stat nerd of the league, as you guys know. I'm the one who gets those graphics, and I spend tons of time looking over stats, and I love the stories they tell. And Matthew Fritz is someone whose name I'm always seeing towards the top of stats that are indicative, or is that the word? Oh, let's assume
it is today.
It is today, of speed. Matthew Fritz displays raw speed. He is up in the top 5 in speed ranking or ratings, which is extremely important in terms of judging how fast you are throughout the entire run, long run and short run, and different tracks. And he's up there in terms of top 5s and top 10s, and that's why he finds himself in a really comfortable point situation where he's not even on the bubble. All Matthew Fritz has to keep doing is exactly what he's done all season, and he'll find himself comfortably in the playoffs, probably even with some bonus points, because this league does pay out bonus points for the top 10, I believe it is, in the points at the end of the regular season that then transfer into the playoffs. So that is a huge bonus for Fritz to get. Someone like him that is so consistent, always up there. And hey, I always say, if you're up there enough, eventually you're going to cross the checker flag first.
Yeah, you never know when one of these foolishness things are going to happen. A couple of cars might be racing for position, and you can sneak on by. Or heck, even gas mileage, as we were talking with the pole sitter, and you mentioned earlier, gas is always an issue. And Fritz, if he's up, you can't win if you're not up there. But Fritz, he is one of the cars always up there.
Yes, he is. And so looks like we're going to be going green this time around. And I didn't, to my knowledge, see... Oh, we had a few cars pit. We had Lewis down pit, including a few that. So Lewis not being in our wreck. So why not, right, Mean Gene? Let's take that extra fuel. As a few drivers are anticipating a fuel mileage race here. Never hurts to have a couple extra gallons in there. This will be another fun restart. Interesting to me that David Cook, after obtaining the lead on the outside in 2nd place, then chose the inside as the leader when you do have lane choice after the initial restart.
Well, you know what he's going to do. He's going to get an amazing run, shoot out of that thing like a rocket, and then just drift his way up into the outside lane. And that will also give him an opportunity to pinch a lot of those bottom drivers. Maybe he's just practicing right now to figure out what he's going to do later. We talked about cautions. Will there be cautions? Maybe there won't be. But really fast, we see Medina and Duvall get hooked up with each other, bringing out that first caution of the day. We'll see. Hopefully it won't be a caution fest. And they're coming through that long turn 3. I think that pace car is about to get out of the way. There that pace car goes, and David Cook will be your control car. He's on the inside as we come into the Geico restart zone. Look at that run that Cook gets. He takes, is that Fritz he took with him?
Yeah, but there was some, not so much checking up, but definitely a chain reaction there on the inside. A few cars making some contact, but these next gens strong enough to make it through. And Mean Gene, the fortune teller, that is exactly to the T what David Cook does. He does a great run, gets himself to the outside, gets the perfect angle, and gets the exit that corner single file while everyone else gets a battle through the tunnel turn. Here we go, our second try at the tunnel turn. It is hard to go side by side, much less three wide like Redinger is right now. Let's see how this goes.
Redinger, Justin Parham all down there with that three wide. Cook on a rail gets around really nice. Bobby Dodson had some speed coming in that fourth place, but he slowed it down. We can see a lot of single file racing right now as they go into turn two, little side by side. You can see Mata is side by side right there. Cars holding their line really well. And here we go. Let's settle in for some racing.
Yes, here we go. So first time down this long straightaway, you're going to see a lot of drivers maybe do some IndyCar moves at some time in this race where they like to snake all the way to the bottom. Not yet in this point in the race. And everyone trying to stay single file. Because like you mentioned before we went green here, Mean Gene, the draft here is so important. Important and strong to the point where it's going to keep these guys bunched up for the early parts of these runs. I'd probably say until at least 10 laps, the top 10, 15 will be bunched up because of the power of that draft before the faster guys are able to escape it.
Yep, you can already see a little breakaway between the two groups. You got a larger group up front and then a smaller group kind of breaking away at the back. Not what they wanted to see early in this race, but this is a long track. You know, if you have one or two bad turns, you might quickly find yourself 4 or 5 seconds behind. Fortunately, this track does have some drafting ability with these faster cars. Look at that nice move by Mata on the outside of Dodson right there.
Gene, look at the difference between Parham and behind Parham. Look at those two packs, and that is either a product of a mistake we missed or side-by-side racing versus single-file racing and using that draft.
I think those cars just gap. It is. I think they just missed a few turns. It's hard to pass, and if you don't go into those turns at the right speed, you know that's the difference between going through something at 135 and going through something at 120.
So true.
You're not going to make it up.
Like we talked about when we were doing the Zach on track, is corner entry is so much less important than corner exit is. You need Tony Iverson. Oh wow, we both saw that one, huh?
Woo,
wow.
Scary. What was that?
Mero and Iverson. Mata and Iverson. I'm sorry, getting to know. Oh no, that was Mero. Getting to know each other real well there. Mero just not getting the exit he wanted to in the tunnel turn, and you know right away in that turn when you didn't make it, and you gotta check up. As we have a pass for, or a look for the lead here, as Fritz looking to the inside of Cook has a great run. Matthew Fritz, what we're talking about.
David Cook on the outside though. Let's see what he does with it.
Wow, Fritz just had to enter a little bit lower than I think he wanted to. And let's see the 21 on Sully, our pole sitter, who said, how have I not let a lap in this thing yet? I started on the pole. He wants to be in the front. And look at this. Fritz has a decision to make here. Does he want to enter on the inside, or does he want to spile in? No, he doesn't. Side by side. Tunnel turn.
And look at that. Look at that line Cook takes. It just allows him to just zip right through that thing. Really good run right there.
Such a luxury in the tunnel turn, more than any other corner in this track, to be able to just be alone. Going side by side makes you just sacrifice so much about your entry, your exit, the momentum you're able to carry through the corner. It almost ruins everything. And what an aggressive move by Michael Mata behind Owens, trying to take advantage of Dodson there. We have some really aggressive racing, but really, really good racing from our heavy hitters, all of them up front, like you brought up before we went green here.
I don't think Michael Mata would have done that if he knew that was David Owens, but David Owens running a new paint scheme today. Usually we see him in that NAS 11, but today he's running looks like an all-white paint scheme out there today. So maybe nobody knows it's him, but hey, you know, David Owens, zero chill. You get in front of him, he'll show you that front bumper.
Matthew Fritz is just struggling there on the bottom. It seems like he's a little bit timid to go back up top, and I understand why, because the runs can be so enormous up top compared to what you're dealing with stuck there in the bottom. He's afraid of getting run over and spun out, ruining his race early. Fritz being very responsible here, but that cost him 3 spots. Fritz made tried to make a pass for the lead. It didn't work out, and now he finds himself in 4th place, a second back from our leader.
It's a crazy accordion effect. You could see Tony Iverson running in 8th back there. We were just watching. You know, he almost made a little bit of contact with that 26 of Mero, but he pulled off, and also having to show that patience that the veteran drivers do possess, so that he can keep this thing going green and not use that quick repair. Because if you wreck on this track at 190 miles an hour, that quick repair is gone. If you do it twice, you're absolutely done. Not what they want to do. Really neat accordion effect you can see with these 6 drivers in between Iverson and Owens. That group right there, you look at Mata just cutting down, trying to get below that 48 of Fritz. This group right here is really showing us the difficulties and the advantages of being familiar with Pocono.
And we got Parham in the wall. Parham, our car furthest out, or first out of the playoffs. Hard hit the wall, the outside wall. Look at that momentum difference with Parham. Here's the replay. Gets loose, overcorrects a little bit, and that is a healthy hit into the wall. Hopefully not too bad, but like you just said right before that, me and Gene, there's no way he wasn't carrying lots of speed there. That's the exit of 3. That's the most important exit on the entire track. You are all out there, and that's when the car gets loose. That's when I was getting ready for Zach on the track. That's what I was struggling with the most, was that exit of 3. The car is desperate to get loose. I did the exact thing that Parham did several times. Can't believe he's the only one that's done it so far. We'll see the impact that has on Parham's race here today.
Well, you know, we're talking about that outside road, that being Cook's Parkway. He looks like he tried the number 5's run right into that wall. That does not work out there. Only Kyle Larson can cut hard right into the wall and still be on top of the leader. What is happening? It looks like Parham. Is that Parham going into the pits?
Yeah,
Maybe
I believe it is.
A little peek?
That tells me that Parham's damage was bad enough to where he knew he had to use a fast repair, or potentially it wasn't even up to him. If you get what they call a meatball flag, which is a black flag with a giant red circle in the middle, that means it's not up to you anymore, buddy. NASCAR says you have to come in. iRacing says you have to come in. You have to fix that race car. That means he has to use that fast repair. Parham, if there was one guy who did not need that today, it was him. And let's put our, Fritz, that's what I wanted to put our camera on. He just got loose at a 1. He is struggling. I'm wondering if Fritz potentially went a little bit hard in the beginning of that run as he gets behind Mata. Fritz seems like he kind of just wants to hang out where he is now, but wow, that was an aggressive entry. That was an aggressive entry on Michael Mata. That absolutely was. And keep our eye on that number 11 3-Chi car of David Owens. That car has so much speed in it right now. He is putting down the fastest lap on the track time and time again. He has for the past 3 laps. He has caught that pack of 2. David Cook seems to be holding up slowly just a little bit. And just keep your eye on Owens. I think he's waiting for his opportunity to strike and get a 2-for-1 special.
How about a little bit back further? You can see Iverson still having a little bit of difficulty making his way through the crowd as well. I don't know if he's just being patient or if it's just that difficult to make a clean pass. You know, it's one thing to just get that pass, because you get that run coming in quite easily, but it's carrying that speed through that apex and on the exit as well. Really nice racing here as we get this overview of Mata doing his wiggle job right behind Buddy Sully, and that's David Owens in the 11 ahead of them. The 48 of Fritz, he's that back car, and Cook is your leader right ahead of that. Nah, I'm getting pretty accustomed to seeing David Cook up in the front there, Zach.
I am too, and I'm sure David Cook's loving the view he has right now, but he has a hungry David Owens right behind him who made quick work of Sully. But David Owens had a hard time getting out through there. He got very loose. He had a similar thing happen to him as Parham, but the overcorrection just didn't happen. He was able to keep it straight, but he shot all the way about 4 lanes down to the bottom of that straightaway. And Iverson mentioning before this race that he actually had less practice than he normally does going into this race. Iverson's somebody that his speed, while a lot of it's raw talent, he also puts the work in, and that's why you put the work in. He shows every time that when it comes to these races, he has a long run plan, he has a short run plan. He knows his fuel stuff. He knows how to get the wins of these tracks because he's practicing. He didn't have the time this week as much as he thought he would. He's been dealing with some other stuff. But I think he's been spending the first half of this race learning how to make passes as he is on the inside of Mata now. I mean, even a Tony Iverson learning the track as a Tony Iverson that's able to hang with anybody in this league. But I think it's going to be a fascinating one for Iverson today as well, because we haven't seen this out of Iverson this season yet. We haven't seen him have to learn on the spot. A lot of drivers can do it. A lot of drivers actually, they prefer it. Others not so much. I'm personally one of like Iverson. I like to practice. I tend to make more mistakes when I don't put that time in. But look at Tony Iverson, the inside of Mata, got aggressive moves here between 2 cars that have been racing each other up front. Seems like all season.
Well, if you believe in the old adage, the early bird gets the worm. I think you need to look no farther than that 24 of Kenneth Redinger. He's running 9th right now, but he is our points leader. Kenneth Redinger was the first driver to log into our practice session.
Kevin, did we miss something? Kevin, did we miss something that happened to David Owens? David Owens falling back to 5th place here, Mean Gene. I'm sorry to cut. I apologize to cut you off. I didn't realize that he was in 3rd. Because I didn't even see him get passed back by Sully, but Owens trying clearly to fix what went wrong, whether it be just getting loose again in a corner. But Owens was in 2nd place, right behind Cook. Something happened, and now he's in 5th. And maybe it was. So yeah. Kevin Kyle believes it was just him going out line in the front stretch. And if that was nothing notable, then it's the exact same thing that happened to Fritz that we're seeing him recover from. Fritz back to 3rd place after he tried the same move, went to the inside on the front stretch, tried to complete the pass to the inside. Cook able to choke it on exit, and it costing them positions. That's woof. Mata and Owens. That was close. And you are not kidding me, Gene. These checkups and these accordions are fascinating.
Yep, and they're 2 white cars. I guess they just kind of merged together, and Mata just thought that was an extension of his front bumper. Those 5 cars, though, ooh, a little bit of wall contact right there as well by Mero. Mero is trying to drive the wheels off that thing. That lets Iverson get side by side with him. Let's see exactly what's going to happen as they head into this turn, this turn right here, and Iverson underneath is going to have to hold that apron and try to make a move. And unfortunately, looks like the 26. Looks like Mata just kind of cruised down there. Those cars are really tight.
Yeah, and they just keep swapping spaces. I mean, I feel like they've been every possible combination in this group of 6 from like 2nd to 8th. I feel like they've literally been every combination. It's been really fun to watch, really hard racing, and they've kept it green. But oh my goodness, another close call as, well, man, that was close as Mero gets to the inside there of Mata, almost hits him, and it costs him the position with Iverson. And that's how a lot of these passes are getting done, are just products of other people's mistakes, other people's moves that don't work out, as, oh my goodness, Mero and Dodson get together there. Turn 3 also. Turn 3 is the turn that's sticking out the most to me as the point of struggling for most of these guys. They're having a really hard time exiting there, and what I've been hearing from most guys is if you send it in too deep, you get loose, and then if you try to get in the gas too early, you get tight and you go to that outside wall. You got to find that perfect entry speed to be able to get on the gas as hard as you need to not blow your straightaway, but also have a good run through the corner. And you can see a lot of guys still trying to figure that out right now.
Well, unless your name is David Cook, you're not going to get the opportunity to have that perfect entrance angle. All the rest of these guys, they've got somebody around them kind of preventing that, and all those wiggles are just exacerbated by that dirty air and that side drafting that's going on by these other cars. But right now we're looking at David Cook. We are 18 laps into this thing. A lot of these guys are running on 18 laps. They said that they could make 27 laps on a green flag run, and they said tires would not be an issue. But it's one thing to say tires aren't an issue in practice when you're by yourself. It's entirely another thing, Zach, when you're out there side by side with somebody.
Definitely, and the way that these guys have been racing each other, there's a 0% chance that they've been able to save anywhere near as much tire as they would have liked. This has been intense racing all the way through. Even David Cook feels like he's had to probably go harder than he's wanted to defend this lead and not get part of that insanity behind him. I doubt he wants any of that. Pretty fascinating that we also have Cook, Solly, and Fritz, the original 3 guys up here, back up here again. They each took their own shot. The lead didn't work out for them, had to go work back through that top 6, top 7, and now they're back in the top 3. I do think we're going to see some, I mean, for lack of a better word, calmness before we get to these green flag pit stops, Mean Gene, because I think now everyone's kind of taking their shot at a pass for the lead, seen different parts of the lead, felt different types of dirty air. I think they're ready to put on 4 fresh good years in this thing and give it another shot with what they've learned. And also, I'm really positive that no one in the top 9 down to Redinger wants a caution anytime soon, because look at how big that gap is back to Medina in 11th. These guys have gapped them by 10 seconds, and they lose all that if we get a yellow flag out here, so they do not want that.
No, they don't. But cars we're going to have to look at are going to be Mata and Dodson. Those guys laid down some real bangers in practice. And as we can see, Mata right there make that move on Owens. And the 32 of Dodson, he's the 4th car behind Iverson in that shot right there. I think we're going to watch Mata and Dodson push the pace because they know they were faster than everybody in practice. They've got that entrance speed. They can roll, and they got that strong momentum coming out. Looks like Iverson also wanting to take advantage. Owens touches the apron. Him and Bobby Dodson make contact.
Owens goes around, Mean Gene. Owens around. And caution is out. That was another turn 3 incident like we were talking about. I think Owens didn't get the exit he wanted.
Looked like he touched the apron, right?
He got touched, but it was a product of him not getting the exit he wanted, and I'm not sure if it was Dodson or Mara behind him that just was not really in the mood to wait anymore. Let's see here. Okay, looks like it's Maro. So look, Iverson's gonna pass him before any of this even happens. So that goes to show how early these incidents happen. So looks like he's already not having the momentum he wants to as he goes through the tunnel turn. He's gonna get passed by Iverson here. He's on the inside, which is not where he wants to be for exit, and he doesn't get down anywhere near as much as I'm sure he wanted to.
Here it is.
And that car's just not turning. And Dodson says, sorry, buddy.
Good driving by Bobby Dodson to avoid the foolishness. And how about Owens has just managed to bring it to the old Dukes of Hazzard slide stop instead of damaging him. I thought that was the Geico restart zone, not the slide zone.
I guess it depends on who you ask. For Owens, it's definitely the slide zone, is the hoonigan zone. But hey, no harm, no foul for Owens. Good for him because, he does lose the trap position. Not what he wanted, but at the same time, no damage at all to that race car. So good for him.
No, but it is going to bring out the second caution of the day.
Yes, and while we're under caution, Kevin, if you want, now let's take a look at our playoff picture. Since we have so many of the guys in this playoff picture who are running up front with us right now. So I kind of organized this in a way to not make it too much for numbers, a numbers thing for you guys, right? No one likes math. We already talked enough about it during these broadcasts lately.
I took my shoes off, though. I can count to 20, Zach.
Okay, cool. So good. That should be enough here. All right, so for locked in, and this just means on a win, and they've raced enough races to where we're going to meet the minimum. That's our boys Redinger, Iverson, Cook, and Jax the Ball Crawl. They're good to go. They're just out here going for more trophies, more playoff points, trying to pad that gap. Now we have the 30 plus from the cut line to the right of that. These are guys that can afford a bad race. They can maybe even afford to miss a race and still come out somewhere maybe 9th to 10th. They'd like not to, but they're not showing up to races necessarily points racing yet. And that's David Owens, Matthew Fritz, and Austin Merrill. Those have been the guys who have been the staples of consistency, but haven't gotten the wins yet this year. Then we have above the bubble. Everyone here on your bottom left is less than 30 points above the bubble. And this goes in order. And that goes for Dodson, Case of Beer, Smalley, Stinson, and Volpus, who didn't make it here today. And then we have below the bubble. And that same logic applies, but reverse it. Everyone here is within 30 points of the playoffs, and not within them. And that's Parham, someone who we just saw have early trouble. Steve Lewis, our defending champion. Jack Sanders, which is a crazy story. Kevin Brower, the defending winner on Thursday in the MRL Truck Series. And Garand. And now we have our must win. And the top 2 or 3 of these guys, Mata included, as we're seeing right here today, if he keeps running out front and not running into bad luck.
He's backing up there.
As Mata misses, Mata is. Literally, as I'm saying, the second I said bad luck, Mean Gene, he misses pit stall. I've never seen the announcer's jinx work that powerfully.
Yeah, that's one way Kevin Brower's going to pass people.
What have I done? Anyway, these must-win guys have, if they race the rest of the season, so Novella, you can take out of that. Swingle, gone. Beverly's here today, correct?
I do not see him on the track.
Take Beverly out of there. And Hall is here. So Hall, Mata, Dwayne, and Medina. They're, in my opinion, for better or worse, I think they're in must-wins, Mean Gene. They're about 60 to 70 points out. I mean, it's always possible, but we're talking like stage wins and top 5s, podiums for the rest of the way to point yourself in, and guys missing races that you need to miss races. Guys like Joseph Volpus. So it is possible, but man, look at how many more. The biggest thing that I think we should pay attention to here, Mean Gene, is look at how many more names there are on the bubble, above and below. It just goes to show how tight it is right now.
Yeah, and Jonathan Casabir, he didn't make the race today. He didn't line up on the grid, so that's going to affect him moving forward as well as Volpus. So you got Casabir and Volpus are both missing today's race. Below the bubble, all those guys are here. So they're going to definitely take advantage to move up. Actually, I don't think Garen's here.
Yeah, Garen's not here, but yeah, someone like Parham just showing up, even if he's not able to recover from that early incident, just showing up gets you points. And I apologize, Richard Swingle is here. So Richard Swingle, if he continues to show up, will run the minimum amount of races. There is a minimum amount of races that you have to run in this league in the regular season to advance to the playoffs. You can't just win and not show up again. But I believe if Swingle continues to show up, he will be eligible. Same with Medina and guys like that. So there's still a lot to play for. There really is. We still got 4 more of these things to go. But it is unbelievably tight. And the reason for that is obvious, and it's the parity in this field. These guys are all so good, and they're all so even, and it's such a great show. And I really do think we're going to be, I wish we could, hopefully we can find out some software that gives us some like live point updates somehow, because it's going to come down to the wire at Auto Club in the regular season to see who gets to advance to the playoffs.
We will, especially those, especially looking at like those bottom 4 spots. That's where we're really going to see the battle, because right now there's only a few points separating 4th through 9th. So 10, 11, 12, those guys, that's really where it's going to get intense come to the end. You know, something you don't know about Richard Swingle, he is a guy that you want to hook up with on a super speedway and maybe push him to a victory, because Richard Swingle, he makes some really good wraps when you're designing cars out here. So that's a guy you want to be friends with, especially if you're looking for a new paint job on your car.
Yeah, him and David Owens make some beautiful wraps. Richard Swingle really has the art of colored chrome down, which, let me tell you, as someone who makes average wraps, as you can see from that 54 Jose Medina car, that's one of mine. That's about as good as I can go. And then you look at that just drop dead gorgeous Owens car behind it, and there's levels to this stuff. But we're looking to go green here, Mean Gene. The front of the field is the same. Besides, look who's in 3rd place. Look who's in 3rd place, Mean Gene.
Justin Parham, here we go.
Second pit stop from Justin Parham. There's no way Justin Parham has the same tires.
And Cook gets an amazing start. Buddy Sully on the outside is trying to keep it close. 6 seconds stop by Justin Parham. He's on that inside in that black 18 car. Outside of him is that 48 of Fritz. They've got the scales ready to weigh that car when this race finishes. Side-by-side racing behind them. Really nice. Let's see how long it takes this field to spread out. All of them took an advantage to get those pits. They probably all got tires except for that 3rd position car, the number 18 of Parham. And now I see some single file up front now, Zach.
Yeah, keep your eye on that black and yellow 18 of Justin Parham. He is the guinea pig right now. He did stay out. He's the only one who had a single-digit time in the pit stops. He for sure is not on tires. I don't even think that's enough time for 2. So everyone's watching that car, seeing, can he do this? How much time he's going to lose? I love the move for Parham in his situation. I think it's brilliant. And look at Mara all the way to the top. Oh, my goodness. He almost got into Dodson on entry, had to check up, completely lost his line. Elsewhere, we're going single file, like you said. See some of these drivers trying to keep it simple right now, but towards the back of the field, you got guys like Tony Iverson going 3 wide. And Mean Gene, how did Tony Iverson lose all his track position? Tony Iverson in 15th place.
39-second pit stop for Tony Iverson. I think he had to get out and get a hot dog while he was down there.
Yeah, and we had contact there from the 97. A swing on the wall, almost goes down into Mata. Oh my goodness, and that's why you don't want things to happen in the pits. Not saying Richard Swingle's a squirrel, because he certainly isn't, but that's the saying. You don't want to end up with the squirrels. You don't want to end up where the action is. And 2 of our fastest cars just ended up victim of Swingle hitting the wall on exit. Luckily, they both made it through. And oh man, hard hit there too. Looks like that's Brower into the wall. I'm sorry, that's the 2.
That is a lot of action going
Stinson
on
in the wall
right now. People touching the apron, people touching the wall.
Something's wrong with Stinson.
Oh, more contact. He's hitting the brake. Missed the pits.
Yeah, that thing
definitely wanted the pits.
It looks like when you hit the wall, Mean Gene, you got yourself a meatball. I mean, why else would you be so desperate to pit, right? Like, Stinson obviously needed to pit. Like, I don't think it looked like he didn't feel like he had a choice. Didn't work out for him. But the only reason you do that, in my opinion, is you have a meatball flag, and iRacing is telling you got to come pit, or we're black flagging you. We're not counting the next lap you run. But wow, you just cannot afford to hit the wall and in the exit of 3. It is just too much for these next gens to take.
No, he's Tokyo drifting down the straightaway right now. Let's get back up to that front, though, and look at that action. You can see Cook and the 21 of Sully. You got the 48 of Matthew Fritz. You know, you talked about Fritz earlier. He's getting down on that inside, but on the outside, you can see the 71. He's on Cook's Parkway, just driving it around. He's going to hold up momentum and probably take that lead as they go down this straightaway. Great racing, Buddy Sully, David Cook side by side, Matthew Fritz. He's back there waiting for something to happen.
You got to get all the way up to Cook. That's the issue. That's how Cook is taking advantage of these guys. I think Cook's going to be okay here, Mean Gene. Let's see. Let's see if Cook just gets the run he needs on exit. There it is. He's going to take off, and let's see if Fritz can even take advantage of this. If your buddy Sully there, if you're Fritz, if he has that opportunity again, you got to be up against the door of David Cook on the entry of one. Like, I don't care if I touch him. You got to be literally up against there. You have to give him no room, and you need to maximize the arc that you get. Don't let him take advantage of you there. Cook is doing it over and over again. We're early in the race, almost getting to our halfway point, which is why you might be seeing some give and take here. But man, if they're not going to let Cook get away with that for the rest of the race, or they're not going to get by him.
No, and you can see again that big break in between the two groups. You can see, oh, contact. There's an accident on the back. Caution is out.
Duvall into the pits, and we got the 9 of Brower turned around as well. I believe this was a big one, Mean Gene. Duvall and Brower for sure involved. Let's see who else. The exit at 3. How many times am I going to say it today? It's like turn 7 in the roll ball. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That was, I see dead people.
Yeah, so you got KB and the 9. He was ahead, and oh, the 9 he just cuts hard into the wall. And it looks like he took the 84 with him. Oh, look at that nice camera work.
I know. Look at these zoom ins by Mr. Kevin Kyle. All right. So, yeah, he did that little overcorrect.
And he said, hey, Duvall, let's go to the wall. And Duvall says, you know what? I don't like the wall. I'm going to go in the pits. And look at this driving right here by the 84. He's like, well, the nose wants to go. The nose knows what it wants to do. And in he goes.
Do we have a way of knowing if he has a black flag? I'm literally just thinking that. I was like, I want to know so badly if he's sped.
Yeah, like I know he's sped.
I wonder if he didn't. That's like, I mean, not the worst thing, right?
Really unfortunate right there. Kevin Brower just overcorrecting, sends it up into the wall. Duvall, he was involved in an earlier accident. That's going to bring out our third caution of the day.
I'm assuming Kevin Brower is still suffering from a hangover from his first Thursday night win last Thursday. Congrats to Kevin. KB definitely deserved it. A long time MRL member, immensely talented. Got an overdue win on Thursday. So hey, if anyone can handle that, it's Kevin right now. Speaking of Kevins, Kevin Kyle, do you want to talk about your company right now, KK Woodscapes?
Sure. Yeah, we just do with trophies and plaques and like anything you can think of. Basically got started doing stuff for iRacing. We have a laser CNC machine, so done a lot for you, Zach. Thank you for the business and a lot for a lot of the leagues. So yeah, no, just you guys ever need any plaques or any gifts or fantasy football trophies or anything of that nature, yeah, just hit me up, and glad to help you guys out. But yeah, Zach, appreciate the shout out and all the business.
Yeah, as a loyal customer, which I'm happy to be one. I'm shameless, guys. I'll buy my own trophies. I don't care. Winning an iRacing league event in the league like MRL means the world to me.
David Cook goes for a fake into the pits and hits David, Buddy Sally there.
And hits Sully. Oh no! Can we see the replay of that? Oh no! I've always wanted to experience one of these hysterical Kevin laughter moments on the air. I'm excited to be part of this. Oh, we did. So it looks like Sully do the fake, and then Cook is like, actually, I'm gonna do that too. Here we go.
We're gonna look at a little replay action.
Oh yeah, and this is gonna be the story of the race here, is it? I mean, does someone else want to analyze that? Yeah, well, I agree. Sully was potentially more far forward than maybe he should have been, being that he had to be behind. Yeah, let's pay attention to this. How far forward is Sully? Okay, so side by side, Sully's close. He's close. He's trying to maximize. Oh,
ouch!
Was Sully bailing, Kevin? Sully was bailing, wasn't he? Yep, the 21 was going to bail because he did not go right anymore. Watch, he's going to kind of turn. Yeah, he's going left. He's going left. He was bailing, and the 71 had the opposite idea. I don't think I blame two guys, the 71 and the 21, right? Or the 21 and the 71, right? Like, it's kind of one of those situations. Love both those guys. Nothing malicious, obviously, but sometimes the games, and that's the perfect word, Kevin, that was a game. And sometimes when you play them, you don't win the prize you think you're going to. And I'm going to go ahead and 50 that thing in terms of responsibility. That cost them considerable track position, as David Cook now finds himself in 16th.
Wow.
And we have Sully in 11th.
Well, it's like Chris Tucker said, you bobbed when you should have weaved.
Yeah.
That did not work out for either one of those guys. And guess who is now the recipient, the number 48 of Matthew Fritz, sitting pretty up there. And how about Justin Parham? You know, he's still running on them crazy old tires, but he is on the outside row, sitting in second. He is smiling big. Mason Smalley and Kenneth Redinger, Mr. Consistency. He's up there on that second row as well. Jose Medina, David Owens, Bobby Dodson, Michael Mata. That's a fast row right there, that third row.
Yes,
I'm sorry, that fourth row of Dodson and Mata. You know, those are the two faster guys in practice, and especially with Cook and Sully taking that opportunity to bob and weave with each other. Be interesting to see if anything develops out of that moving forward.
Not in terms of points, not the biggest deal for Cook, but someone like Sully, who is going to have to run the rest of the season if he wants to go to the playoffs. That was the worst possible timing, because we haven't even brought this up yet. We're about to go on a 2-lap shootout to win this stage, and those two aren't going to get in stage points. If they are, then good for them. Props to them. I'd love to be wrong about that in terms of the driving we get to witness. But I'm going to go ahead and say they're not. And what do we say about Matthew Fritz? If you're there for long enough, stuff like this happens to you. Love this move by Parham, too. The guy on the outside looking to cash in some stage points. He finished for the caution in 4th place. This is working out for him. This is going to be a fun one. 2 laps until this stage is over.
There goes that pace car. We are about to go green here. Matthew Fritz. They are green. Matthew Fritz on the inside in that 48. Manny Ray's car leads him around. But look at that jump Parham got on the outside, getting pushed hard by Redinger. We're going to see some action coming into this first turn, Zach.
This is going to be insanity. And look at Iverson already poking 3 wide. It's go time. Time to collect some stage points, especially for these guys who are trying to make the playoffs. This is the perfect time. And what a job by Justin Parham. That is gorgeous. He is on such old tires. Wow.
He kept it tight. He had Redinger on his tail pushing him. That outside, he's watched David Cook run Cook's Parkway all the way up to the front. If Parham can hold this thing, and look at that push. That is draft racing right there. That is super speedway racing. As you can see, Redinger give a hard push to Fritz. To Parham, pushing him way up ahead, and we're coming around. They got, 2 laps until they're going to award stage points.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree more. It essentially is super speedway racing, and great job by everyone to get through the tunnel turn. We saw Medina, who struggled there earlier, essentially able to go there 3 wide that time. Tons of give and take while still racing everything out of each other. This is awesome. And Justin Parham, oh my goodness, this is so impressive on old tires at Pocono, not letting it affect him. He only has to hold on for 2 more laps to take him some valuable stage points, offset the early damage from this race, and put himself honestly in a position to where he'll have just as good a chance to win this as anybody else.
As good as he did, that's as bad as Fritz did. We see Fritz all of a sudden drop back into 5th, and now he's side by side with the 26 of Smalley. A lot of racing back there. Bobby Dodson, Tony Iverson. You can see Medina letting off the gas. He didn't want nothing to do with that foolishness. But right now, it is Justin Parham. He is leading this thing. He's got a good jump over Redinger, and then Owens and Fritz side by side behind him. They're ringing this around, and it's only going to be 1 more lap until we're going to see some stage points awarded. And Justin Parham, he took a chance with those tires. You know, I asked you that. You got to get gas around 27 green flag laps, but what about those tires? And Parham right now proving those tires can be pushed.
Boy, was I wrong, and I am happy to be wrong to see the success that Parham is enjoying. I thought this would matter more, and I'm going to not take away credit from Parham here. It's a combination of a great driver and potentially the tires not mattering quite as much as we thought they would. Fritz, regarding, he not having the restart he wants, he's trying to settle in here, but That's not Fritz's style this season. He's going to let that type of stuff happen, as we've seen all season. He's not going to take chances on restarts where it's, you know, your most vulnerable time to have a big moment, have a big accident. He is always there in the end, and that's how he's made sure it's worked out for him all season to be in position to make these playoffs easily. Fritz,
look at
on
that
the
side by
outside
side
there.
racing right there.
Three
Are we going to go
wide
3 wide? Are we going to go
stage.
3 wide? Mata, he don't care. Redinger, he is in there as well. And look at Fritz getting up in there.
Wow.
Redinger would love to get up there and get his second stage win of the year. But right now on that outside, it's Parham in the 18. Look at that big, strong move by Mata. These are some fast cars. Everybody looking for the stage win.
Michael Mata, never afraid to put on a show. That was awesome. I love that last second move. That was so cool to see from Mata. Congratulations to Justin Parham. That top 5 you see right there is the top 5 of your stage. Congratulations to all those guys. Fritz collecting points, broadening his line. But now Michael Mata, a guy that if he's going to run the rest of the season, needs that win, wants that win. He is there again. He's in position again. And now he's racing a different guy, Justin Parham. It's been everyone in this league that Mata's had to try to find a way to beat. Can he do it today? Michael Mata has showed so much speed today, and also the ability to run any line he seems like he wants to. You see Owens going very high here. Redinger drifting up a little bit. It is tight in the mid-pack.
Looks like he almost tapped that wall, David Owens, that is. And now I think Parham can actually back off a little bit. He accomplished his mission. No need for him to push those tires. You can see Michael Mata going underneath him. You know, Mata also with a 4.8 second pit stop. It makes me wonder, did he take tires or did he also decide to just take that fuel? Michael Mata, though, he is your leader getting by Parham. Really strong racing right here, right now on lap 37 here at Pocono.
Mata missed his stall. I think he came back around because he lost the track position, which I didn't. If that's what happened, I don't know how he got it back so quickly. But yeah, Mata, whatever. I believe he is on new tires, though. If he isn't, then oh my goodness, good luck to the rest of the field.
Yeah, he is. It's definitely that 48 right there, Fritz. He's running third. He's got new tires. And look at how they fan out right there. The 24, the 13, the 26. Bobby Dodson coming in. Ooh, hard block. You can see Mata come up in front of Fritz right there trying to keep that outside lane.
And
that's going to allow Owens poking down bottom. This is super speedway racing. Look at these guys, Zach. This is crazy. Pack racing.
Maybe Michael Mata didn't take tires because Paro is back to the lead. And wow, Mata having issues. And it looks like when you have a slip up, it just compounds from there, doesn't it, Mean Gene? Like, I haven't seen a single guy today, you know, whether it be a small slip up, losing their line, and only have it last one turn. It seems to follow you for half a lap, if not more, as Mata able to kind of fix that damage, only losing first place, almost giving up second to Fritz and Owens as well.
Cook is loose. Cook is loose into the interior wall.
Oh no. Oh no, Mean Gene.
What happened?
I heard Buddy always say that's the worst head-on hit I've ever seen in my life.
Let's look. You can see.
Let's see. Wait.
Jensen.
What? It is wheeled? Kevin, can you go on board? Go on. Kevin, Kyle.
Is he must be on the cell phone and got bad news and decided to risk it all.
It's going to hang a hard left, isn't it? Whoa. No, it's not.
He is dragging this thing around the track about as slow as you can.
Mean Gene, that is amongst the most bizarre accidents I've ever seen in my entire life.
He is dragging this thing around.
Oh, I'm hearing Cook talk about potentially a misshift. Could that have been it? Wow. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's check the gears. Okay, so look at the RPMs here in front of us. Let's see if they spike. Do they spike at any point? No, they don't. I've never seen anything like that, Mean Gene. Kind of spooky. Yeah, Kevin Kyle just said it's kind of spooky on Halloween. Kind of spooky. The Frankenstein track strikes again.
Well, I'd love to ask him about it, but it looks like he's avoiding Discord at the moment. So
he is in the midst of damage repair. I think that could be it. I don't think that's going to be a fast repair. It is a fast repair. Wow.
He's got to. He hit that wall hard.
That was absolutely a fast repair, and that's the whole field behind him. He didn't really have much of a choice there, did he? Yep. Yep.
Yep. Kevin Kyle reporting from the pit saying that toe link is gone.
Yes, sir.
Taking that opportunity to do that fast repair.
I will
Good
be
deal.
right back, guys, before we go green.
Copy that. So as we look back up to the front, Justin Parham, still our leader. He is running in that number 18 car. Everybody taking an opportunity to come in the pits. And you know, Parham, Mata, these guys that perhaps did not take the 4 fresh Goodyears had to be happy to see that happen, giving them that opportunity to get those fresh tires and come right back out onto the track, maintaining that track position. We're going to see who did not take a chance, but right now it looks like the top 9 definitely taking that opportunity. But we do see cars that did not pit. Specifically, looks like the 97 of Richard Swingle is going to be in the lead once we come around. I can also see Kevin Brower up front. He did not come into the pits. Kevin was being shown a lap down, so perhaps he's just taking this opportunity to get a lap back. We'll have to see as they rotate around if he can get by that pace car or if he's just going to start up in that front position. But right now, 97 of Richard Swingle not coming into the pits. He is running in that New York Yankee Legend paint scheme. Beautiful wrap right there. Richard Swingle, known for his wrap jobs, putting together that Yankee one. I guess it's a playoff wrap.
It is. It is a playoff wrap. We got quite a few of those. We also have some awesome wraps from Jack Staval with his Halloween scheme. Love that.
You know, I had an Astros wrap on mine, but just like the Astros, my car is out of contention.
That guy's top.
And we got guys topped up for fuel. I mean, that's 40 minus.
They're
70
saying you got 27 laps of green. That's 68 coming up too short.
You could do it. I think you could do it.
They're counting backwards, Zach. They're counting backwards.
Absolutely. And this is a track where you could definitely save. Lots of straightaways, lots of clutching you can do on corner entry. You could save 2-3 laps here. Easy. The problem is the speed sacrifice you give up when you give that up. If you don't mind, Kevin, let's pull up our stats here from season 1 here at Pocono. Because if Swingle stayed out, which what I can tell he did, this guy does know how to lead laps here. So the first time I came here, and this was about a calendar year ago, so it feels like longer ago, but really not that bad. We had Owens get the win. Owens had a speed rating of 133.9, which, let me tell you, is very impressive. That would be amongst the highest of the season, this season, altogether at any track. So that's a great speed rating from Owens. The pole was won by Duvall, who has had speed today, but has dealt with his fair share of issues. And then our leaders were Owens, Volpis, Swingle, and Duvall. But Swingle able to lead 12 laps there, whether that be a situation like this where he's doing some pit trickery to get the lead or anything else. Swingle knows how to be up front here. So this will be a fun thing to watch, as I really do feel like with Cook's incidents or Cook's issues here, this is anyone's game, Mean Gene.
Well, somebody who's managed to make it back up is Buddy Sully. Right now he's running 7th. He's in that 4th row on the inside. Pit car is off the track. We're about to see him go green, and there we go. Ooh, Owens tapping Swingle really hard on that restart. I think Swingle spun his tires, and that's going to let Mata get around on that outside. Let's see what happens going into turn 1.
Yeah, Owens really had a decision to make there. Definitely what you said, Mean Gene, a case of spinning your tires and not getting going. But Owens peeked to the inside, but realizing there's going to be no one there to help me in the draft and having to go back on behind Swingle as we go out of turn 1 and into the tunnel turn. Lots of side-by-side action here. Lots of different tire situations. This could get spicy.
Yeah, Tony Iverson, a car to watch right there, finally making his way up through the field. He has to let off a little bit right there with Owens. He's side-by-side with Bobby Dodson. A lot of side-by-side racing. Wow, big move by Swingle to keep the lead over Mata. Mata attempting the crossover, but now he just chooses discretion as the better part of valor. He knows that 97 didn't take fuel, maybe on older tires. He's going to take his time and come up in there.
Oh, this again on exit. Man, that has been the curse of David Owens. That's about the 3rd or 4th time, if not more, I've seen that happen. Mata all the way to the bottom looking for the lead. Look how low he wants to go there to try to clear Swingle. Swingle just did an exceptional job in 2, but not able to hold off Mata there. Michael Mata to the lead.
Look at that crossover move.
Whoa,
attempt by
crossover.
Swingle, though. He's going to try to go back under him, but that outside lane, he's running on Cooks Parkway, and that's going to let him keep going. Little bit tight coming out of that turn. I think we might be seeing those older tires. A lot of side-by-side racing. Look at Tony. Look at Owen. Iverson right there dipping his nose below, looking for that second position, and that 26 of Mason Smalley as well, trying to get involved. These guys are tight racing, Zach. This is some exciting stuff.
Yeah, here's Tony, but Tony Iverson, whoa, man, he got loose on the exit of 2 there. He is doing everything he can to make quick work of Swingle here. Does not want to spend too much time sacrificing his exit and entry. Great pass by Tony Iverson as he moves into second. Swingle doing the best he can. He's fighting so hard, but my goodness, there's a pack of Hornets behind him. I do not envy Swingle right now. Oh, wow.
No, he just got ate up, and that is Iverson and Mata that just took over to take over the top 2 positions. Iverson running really strong. You can still see Mata, though, out there. Mata looking for that first win of the season. Iverson, he'd love to get his 3rd win. You know, Iverson is closest to Redinger, and he'd like to make up that gap. Kenneth Redinger, our points leader, running back in 12th position at the moment. So he is in a vulnerable position as far as that regular points season goes. Ooh, a little bit of wiggling by Swingle. Buddy Sully gets out of the way. And there's David Cook. David Cook can't take those chances. He used that quick repair. And so he needs to avoid whatever Richard Swingle's got going on right now. Look how tight that is 3 wide.
Wow, and 3 wide there. And David Cook, he does not care about that fast repair being gone. He has been making quick work of this field. He's probably already got about 5 spots, and he is not slowing down now. I think David Cook's going to try to send it 3 wide, at least get Sully here, and potentially Medina too. I'm not sure if these guys took tires, Mean Gene. I think they may not have, and I think Cook may have a tire advantage right now that he is getting the most of right now, because wow, he is making his way through the field extremely quickly. And God, at the exit of every corner, we're seeing some sketchy moments. 3 wide again between Parham, Swingle, and it looks like Marrow there. This is just absolute insanity. And wow, Owens there as well. This is such tight racing. So
I'd be
fast.
nervous.
Wow.
I'd be nervous with the Cook on the outside. with
Medina into the wall.
Owens on the outside. Owens has been known to get tight and come down before. Not what you want to be on the inside of him at the moment. God, great racing right now. I'm looking at the 12 Hunter Hall making the move on Swingle. Swingle took a big chance by staying out there. And right now he's just going the wrong way. He needs caution that he is not a part of to get back on that fuel strategy. Some of these guys are going to try to push it. You know, those top 11 cars right now might be trying to push the fuel strategy. Only Richard Swingle is off of that fuel strategy that all these guys are running. We got 17 cars on the lead lap, and at any point, I'd say all of them, except maybe Jay Stinson, are all on pace to try to make a run for this thing. I mean, Matthew Fritz is back in 16th now, and we know he's got a winning car.
Yeah, I was literally about to bring up Fritz. I don't know exactly what happened, and I apologize that, I mean, there's just been so much to keep up with. But yeah, Fritz back there now, too. There is just speed everywhere in this field, and what that tells me is that there's just different tire situations, different fuel situations. I'm assuming Fritz back there because he was part of the group that topped off at the end of that last caution, and that's why he's there. That's the only thing I can think of as he starts to make his way through the field now, but that just opens you up to a world of possibilities, a world of trouble, as we've seen every time that Swingle exits a corner. He checks up the group behind him, and I cannot believe that it hasn't caused an incident yet. Swingle's done an exceptional job of staying out of the way while keeping pace, but man, it's been so sketchy about every corner exit. And yeah, we're just seeing so many different strategies here, and clearly if these guys did top off and they're thinking about stretching it, they're not thinking about that yet, because everyone's just going on just incredibly hard right now. And let's look at Mata and Iverson as that gap is closed down as well.
Yeah, you could see Iverson has really put his nose right into the tail of Mata. Mata has run fast. He was a fast car in practice. He's got long run ability. Iverson, though, the consummate, the dominator, he would love to put himself back up in there and find that 3rd win, close that gap between him and Redinger. But Michael Mata, he needs a win here. I think he is one of the drivers that you said's on the bubble, or actually needs a win. He's back in 19th place right now. He does have a stage win to his credit, but if he could get a real win, that thing would push him right and propel him right back up into that group. Oh, got a little wiggly. That's going to let Iverson duck underneath him. I might think we might see a pass here.
Iverson nearly followed the commander off the cliff there, but was able to check up at the last possible seconds, go side by side, and Mata lives to see another day, not wanting to do a side by side battle through the tunnel turn. But He does seem like he wants to think about a turn 3
Look
move.
at that. Oh, he goes up underneath him, and he is going to make a run here. Iverson, he's out on Cooks Parkway. Let's see what he can do with it. Look at that momentum of the 13. But we're going to see Mata just kind of slide right up and over, and it's Iverson's going for a crossover. It's a great battle, Zach.
This is an unbelievable battle, and let's see what Iverson decides to do here. That bottom line has not worked for anyone on these long runs here, and it looks like Iverson's going to be patient. Maybe try the tone turn again and tempt or try to get Mata into a mistake here and try to repeat what he did last lap, but actually execute it this time. And yeah, Michael Mata, a combination of just not being here for enough races yet, and Mata in the wall. Mata in the wall. Iverson almost again, and this should be a little bit better of a run than last lap. Maybe not. They're going to have to do the same thing over again, and look how close the 32 of Dodson is. He's right there. They can't do this for much longer.
No, Bobby Dodson and Michael Mata, those were your two fast cars in practice. And we can see right now them coming up to that front. Look at Mason Smalley. He wants to look down to the inside. He quickly falls back into line. So we can see a group out front of 4. We can see Buddy Sully in the 21 running 5th, kind of in the middle. And then we see another group of 5 cars right after that back to David Owens. All these cars are going to try to push the laps to make it to the end. But according to my calculations, and remember, ladies and gentlemen, I only have 10 toes and only have 10 fingers and thumbs, so I can only count to 20, but they're going to try to push this thing to 29 laps to make this green flag run. Right now we've only had 4 cautions, but we are currently on lap 50, and I think they're going to be about 2-3 short, depending on who's leading and who is drafting and who is stroking the shifter and riding the clutch.
Man, the accordion effect is just so fascinating here. Like you said earlier, I was just watching Mata exit 1. It is normal struggles he's had the past 3 laps with 1 where he just didn't get the run, but because of that, Dodson got a run on him. Instead of Dodson going to the bottom and wanting to fight him through the tunnel turn, he just gave Mata a nice little shove, and that got Mata all the way back up to Iverson. He just wasn't able to do anything with it going to the tunnel turn. But man, that accordion effect here is so fascinating. And Michael Mata not wanting to give up right now. I can't say enough good things about Tony Iverson and Michael Mata and the show they just put on for us. That was aggressive, but that was clean, respectful, amazing driving. Both drivers knowing where their weak points are and knowing where their own strengths are and just taking advantage of them and just trying to really magnify their own strengths. And that's exactly how you get the lead in a close race where you don't want to caution, you want to keep it clean, you want to keep it straightforward. Both these guys doing everything they can to control their destiny and doing a great job as Mata not getting the exit into 2 that he wanted there, nearly losing it to Dodson. This battle up front is getting spicy, and don't look now, but Smalley as well, trying to make a move on the outside of Dodson. This group of 4, actually, let's make it 5 because we got Sully right behind them just lurking Halloween style. Any of these 5 can get it done. We've seen the speed for them all season and all day at this track.
It's just like we said, it's super speedway racing. Look at the pack racing, and Sully is now in the draft. It's going to let him pull up. The big difference is, though, you got to brake hitting into those corners,
Yep.
and that's when that accordion effect occurs. But you can see that group of 5 right there all staying tight. Iverson just can't break away from them. And then there's another group of 5 behind them, and then you can see Redinger and Fritz in 11th and 12th kind of lurking behind. Not what Kenneth Redinger wanted to do. He could lose 10 points to Iverson right here, plus those playoff points. So Redinger needing some type of caution or a drafting partner. Maybe he and Fritz can get together and catch up to that second group of 5. Good move right there by Smalley on the outside, looking outside of Mata. Mata's going to just do a little slide job, little crossover by Smalley. This is super speedway pack racing. This is some exciting stuff, Zach.
Yeah, it's super speedway pack racing, but like you said, you have to break every corner, and you just cannot potentially ever understate how big of a difference that is. Super speedway racing, you're trying to kind of balance between letting off a tiny bit and going wide open, while here you're trying to balance between tire wear, breaking the entry of your corners, trying to get your angles right. You're mixing the runs and the discipline that you have to deal with drafting in speedway racing with the precision and the just absolute tediousness of a track like Indianapolis or Milwaukee Mile. Smalley gets inside. It's just like I said, one tiny mistake through the tunnel turn, and what happens there? They can't check up. There's too much momentum. There's too much brakes. That's where we really, really get different than a place like Daytona or Talladega, and this track just becomes its own monster, a monster like we showed in the beginning of this broadcast.
Can Smalley get back on the end of that second pack? Maybe he can keep up with Owens and pull up into his draft. It did break up that second group into a 2 and a 3 group, and it looks like Smalley is going to be able to save himself and stick with that second group of 5 and avoid falling back with that group of Fritz and Redinger. Fritz and Redinger still spread out and not getting any type of draft benefits with the two of them, and that's pushing them back in 11th and 12th. They need to figure out how to close that gap. We look back up forward, though, and Iverson has benefited by those other cars in that group behind him doing that side-by-side racing, and it's just letting Iverson lay some rubber down here at Pocono. We're on lap 54 of 70, MRL Racing here live on YouTube. Mean Gene Money, Zach Panzarella, Kevin Kyle. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're seeing, this is some exciting racing. Go ahead and take this opportunity to hit like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Call your friends, call your mom, call your dog, get them in here. Tell everybody about it. It's not going to get much more exciting than what you're seeing right now. We got these cars going wide open, 18 cars doing battle, 17 on that lead lap right now. Tony Iverson, the Dominator, he is back in that lead position, and we are seeing some good stuff out of the Dominator today, Zach.
Yes, we are. And yes, call your moms, your dogs, your aunt, your uncle, everybody. Got both my dogs watching. Shout out Catley and Lana. But man, Tony Iverson, what's so impressive to me and Gene, is so often at this track, when you have a gap, kind of like Tony Iverson does, about 3.5 seconds, where the draft starts to get a little bit weak, if not non-existent in a truck like this, where you don't have a ton of time to really use it, you can really get caught up quickly by groups like we saw with that group of 3 behind them of Sully, Dotson, and Mata, but they just haven't been able to do it. Iverson just running just absolutely immaculate lines, hitting his marks the exact way he needs to, and not even letting them get the draft on them or use their own draft to catch up to him. He's doing an exceptional job right now. He has 14 laps left to do it. Man, I wish can we just double the length of this race? Gene, I'm having way too much fun right now. Let's go another 70 laps.
I don't blame you. I think they might be mad with their tire wear, though. And this is right here. This is what Iverson wants to see. Iverson is looking in his rearview mirror, and he sees Mata and Sully go side by side for a moment, and that lets him get another 4-car length advantage. If I'm Sully at this point, yeah, you're the pole sitter. You're the fastest car when we started this race.
Get behind him.
Follow Mata.
Yep.
Follow him around and see how close you can get. But instead, we can see him again dipping his nose below. And look at that gap for Iverson. I mean, that thing is almost 0.7 of a second. If I'm Iverson, I'm going to laugh this thing all the way to victory lane.
I mean, I could not agree more. And meanwhile, I'm watching Dotson, who, is behind them a little bit, and he just what's it called? Just went right behind Mata, got right in his wake, got right in his draft, and I'm watching his interval go down 2 tenths every half a second. That's how powerful this draft is. I cannot agree more. I know Sully knows he has this the speed to win this race. I know he wants to win this race, and I know he knows he can, but you're only going to do it with patience. Or a yellow flag. Or a yellow flag. That can also get you a win in a situation like this.
And now everybody can get gas and guaranteed to make it, or people can take chances.
We got some storylines in this one, me and Gene. Oh my gosh.
It's Owens.
It's Parham, Owens, and Mossy. Oh my gosh, that is such a big wreck with such enormous implications. And Mero, I'm sorry. We got Mero, Parham, and Owens with race-altering.
And that's Mason Smalley and 26 behind him.
And Smalley just so mad at himself for that mistake now, having to deal with this stuff, right?
Look at this.
And Medina's like, no, come on. Are you serious? Not again. Oh, my goodness.
What does Medina do?
Run.
Like, no, get through it.
Oh.
He does.
Oh, God. The racing gods finally smile upon Jose Medina.
Oh, and look at the
Redinger.
Redinger's like, no. I'm the points leader. I don't get involved in stuff like this.
We really don't talk enough about, I'll go over this real quick. Redinger's points gap. He doesn't need anything more than what he's doing right now. That 8th to 12th place pace he has right now, with that 30 point lead and how often he shows up, he can win the regular season championship, which is all he really needs to do anymore, going to these playoffs by doing that. So props to Redinger for running these responsible races.
Hey, I'll tell you what, while we have this opportunity, why don't we talk a little bit about Salmon Amateur?
Yeah, let's talk about Salmon Amateur, one of our newer sponsors here to the MRL Racing League. Salmon Amateur, there they are. There's their logo right there in the top right. They are a apparel company, lifestyle company from California. They are all about not taking themselves too seriously. The main thing to remember is if you're not a Bass Pro, you could be a Salmon Amateur. And their clothes are high quality. They're usually made in limited runs that are only available for about a month. And they just got their start, so I can't urge you guys enough to check out their website. They have tons of awesome hats, shirts, stickers, things like that you can pick up, and you can get an awesome discount on it. Use the discount code MRL for 25% off any order on their website, which is salmonamateur.com. And that again is salmonamateur.com. As we see essentially our entire field wanting 4 fresh ones in here, me and Gene. Will anyone be brave enough to do 2 tires? I don't think so. It's gonna be, oh, we see Smalley is out of there quickly, Mata's out of there quickly, and Cook is out of there quickly. Boy, was I wrong. I should just stop predicting things. This field has been turned upside down, ladies and gentlemen. We have a completely different running order, and the only way that would be possible would be with very, very different tire strategies. What I see right now is I see Cook in first. I see Mata behind him. Oh man, so these cars that know they have the speed, and I don't blame them. I'm sure they feel like I've proven to myself that I have the speed to come out of here first. I don't need tires. I can win them without them. They also saw guys kind of act as a guinea pig, guys like Parham, who didn't fare as bad as I think a lot of us anticipated with old tires. I think that's all people like David Cook, Michael Mata, and Sully need to see to want to give this strategy a shot. This is going to be absolutely fascinating. As much as I'm sure these guys don't love when these races get turned upside down, it's pretty awesome for us to experience.
It's going to be really fascinating to watch as these different strategies just collide here on these last 11 laps. Parham, like you said, proved you can make it on these tires. And now, earlier I said I thought that these guys were going to come up 2 laps short, but as we know, 1 caution lap here at Pocono is like 3 green flag laps. Yeah. So running these 3 caution, these yellow flag laps is going to really put everybody into that window where they should have that opportunity to finish. Let's see where Mero chooses. It looks like Mero goes low. What's he thinking? He puts Cook on Cook's Parkway on the outside. That might come back to bite him in the behind like a female mosquito in Alabama summer. And Michael Mata, Buddy Sully. Remember, Mata and Sully, the 2 fastest cars in practice. There they are running 3rd and 4th. That's a fast row. Tony Iverson, Bobby Dodson, Mason Smalley, Jose Medina. He's been the bridesmaid, never the bride, but he is in striking position. And Kenneth Redinger, not a great day for Kenneth, but he stayed up in that top 10. And as you said earlier, Zach, that's really all he's got to do as the points leader with only 4 races to go.
Yeah, Redinger doing what he has to do. And so I'm looking at my times here. I'm fascinated by why Iverson isn't in front of Mata and Sully. Iverson's pit stop itself was shorter. So Iverson clearly had some issues getting in his box. So our only 2 cars, me and Gene, that are on older tires is that front row.
Well, the real question, what's in the box?
Yeah, what's in the box? I mean, I'm sure guys like Tony Iverson feel like Brad Pitt in terms of their mental state right now. They had this. He probably felt like I had this thing won. Yeah. And now it is completely upside down. But Mero and Cook, I love this move from both of them. Mero trying to get that first win. He knows he has the speed. And Cook, why not? We're trophy hunting out here, aren't we? He already has his first win. He's sitting 12th in points. We're going for trophies. We're not going for the regular season championship. This is going to be absolute insanity, me and Gene.
Mero, though, we did have that in-car on him. He was a wiggler. So we'll see what happens. Mero on the inside. He's got the control. Geico restart zone. Mero starts. Hard push by Mata telling him go, go, go. And you can see on the outside now Sully giving that push to Cook. He's got to make up his mind. Mero does. He is going to get split by Cook and Mata if he doesn't make a decision.
Yes, he does. Oh man, we got some intense racing on front, and Mata straight to the front. Cook getting eaten up on the outside, so maybe that outside line not working out for Cook the way he wanted it to, but Michael Mata doing what he has to, using those fresh tires to the lead. Michael Mata, but look at Cook already wanting to make quick work here of Mero. This is gonna be intense, and how fast can Sully and guys like Iverson get through these guys with a little bit older tires?
I had to close my mouth there. I'm just sitting there with a gaping jaw, staring at that foolishness. What a horrible restart by Mero, and he got split by Cook and Mata. Cook gets caught up in the foolishness, and all of a sudden, we just see Mata push that car. He was one of the fastest in practice, him and Bobby Dodson. And now suddenly we can see Cook on the inside trying to get through and make that pass. Michael Mata says, hey, I got a good friend, showed me how this outside line works. Let's see if I can keep that momentum up. Strong racing. David Cook is going to take the lead with 8 laps to go here at Pocono.
Cook with the slide job, and wow, Mata not able to do anything about it, and Iverson and Sully are really closing the gap. So wow, if Cook is slower than the rest of the field is, then Mata has to make this move now. He can't wait for Sully and Iverson to catch up to them on those newer tires like he has. He's got to make quick work here, but David Cook has been so hard to pass. He's been so quick today, and man, this field behind him is absolute craziness. I'd be surprised if we're even able to stay green until we give the checker flag, Mean Gene.
You know, there's been a lot of circumstances, though, where I thought we were going to see a wreck, and these drivers managed to make it through. We are packed all back up, pack racing here at Pocono, but you got to hit the brakes as you go in. David Cook, he is braking with his usual mode of operation here, and he's running that inside line instead, and it seems to be working for him. The inside lane not working early in this race. Lots of guys on fresher tires now making it work, but it's Cook. I think he saw where Iverson was running, says, hey, I really like your line. I'm just going to take it over for myself. That's 71 of David Cook. He is looking for his second win of the season. Wouldn't be surprised if he could do it, but he's got that 16 of Michael Mata. Mata, one of the faster cars in practice. He's got a long-range car. He's got a short-range car, and right now he's got David Cook in his sights. Yeah,
Kevin, go to Cook real quick. Watch Cook's entry here. Like you said, Mean Gene, you took the words out of my mouth. What's like sticking out to me though is Cook is able to just get it to the bottom. Of course, when I tell him when I branch and he doesn't do it. Like
he needed a block right there, though. He knew what he was doing.
He did, but I will say what Cook did in the last lap and the lap to make the pass initially was the low entrance that no one has been able to make work. Like I said earlier, I really thought you had to just be up against that top car to make sure you can make your arc as wide as you can, but Cook not needing any such help, able to exit that corner with all the momentum he needed, and he's just doing an unbelievable job. I'm looking at his pit stop. I think he has 2 tires on there right now, and I don't think anyone's done that yet. And as we're seeing, that is proving to be great for Cook. Very fortuitous. He only has to hold on for it's but to be 6 laps as we cross the line here.
Lots of contact in that back of the field. You can see Jose Medina.
Oh, it's spicy back there, Mean Gene.
Little side by side, and then that allows them now to go single file. People trying to use this draft, but we can see those cars split up. You know, it is a packed situation, but going into those corners, if you brake too early, if you don't roll properly,
watch this run.
That car in front of you, and then
watch
it's
this
over.
Run. Watch this run by Mata. Cook not getting the exit he wanted, but Mata also not interested in going side by side down the tunnel turn. I think he thinks he can force Cook into a mistake here. Shoves him in the corner.
Net code. That was net code. Unfortunate. You could see Mata way off the pace out of that.
I think also what that could have been, Mean Gene, is what people love to do in that tunnel turn especially. Just give them a little, we talked a little bit about super speedway racing, right? What's rule number 1 of super speedway racing? Don't bump into the corners. This isn't a super speedway. And even though you get that same draft, same rules don't apply. I think what Mata wanted to do there was just give Cook just a little boop into that corner, upset his car, and make it to where he had to really check up to make it through that corner. Cook was having none of it. He just sent it in crazy deep and made it work. If it wasn't netcode, which honestly, I think you could be right there as well, Michi, not taking anything away from your iRacing expertise, which you have just as much as me. It definitely could have been that, but if it wasn't that, it was Michael Mata trying to play some games while he still has a tiny bit of time left.
Well, we're going to find out. He's got to close that gap. I think that draft effect is going to allow him to do that. Right now you got Tony Iverson and Buddy Sully back there playing games in 3rd and 4th. And then this field starts to split up a little bit. We've only got 5 laps. as they are coming around to close this thing. Everybody's got enough gas, everybody's got enough tires, and everybody's got the testicular fortitude to push their car up into that land of unbridled optimism.
Smalley to the bottom. Oh, and Smalley comes back up and almost makes contact. Oh, Smalley, a bad day, or a great day that went bad gets worse. Mason Smalley, just get that thing across the finish line, man. Live to see another day. Get the points that you've earned through stage racing. He's had a great day, but these are long races, Mean Gene, and it's really hard to put the entire thing together, and that's what makes them so exciting to win. You see David Cook trying to hold on for only 4 more laps. It's looking good for him. I think what he's praying for more than anything, Mean Gene, is just for that middle group that Smalley was just a part of to keep their stuff together, because it is, while it's single file, oh my goodness, it's intense.
It is, and you don't want to, if you're one of these front runners, you do not want to see that caution. You don't want to see that restart. You just want to see this thing just stay green. You have fought all day. They are on lap 67. You've fought 67 laps to find yourself in this position, and you do not want a restart situation where the guy in front of you might spin tires, you lose 4 places, and then you're caught up in the soup of somebody else's disaster. So right now they are spread out. David Cook, and now he's using that more traditional line. He's got a little bit of space, so he can do that high entrance and then come up through the middle and then go back out high. You can see them really spread out right now. Michael Mata, he would love to close that gap.
Redinger and Owens and Medina side by side in the tunnel turn. This is just the exact type of stuff that our leaders want to see. We love it. Very aggressive. Great job. Wow, Owens loose. Saves it, but loses tons of time. Man, you gotta pick and choose those moves, don't you, Mean Gene?
Look how fast Duval got out away from him, too. Duval shot so far outside.
Nothing to do with it.
Like a cannoneer at the Ringling, Barnum, and Bailey circus to avoid what Owens was doing there. Those guys racing hard. We are on lap 69. 2 laps to go. Then next time around, he's going to get that white flag. David Cook, Michael Mata just doesn't have anything in the tank right now for Cook, as Cook seems to be dialed in. Mata, Iverson, that's your top 3. Buddy Sully, your pole sitter, is in 4th, but look at how they are spread out right now. Just cannot get into that draft to pull tight. Somebody's going to have to really take a risk, maybe overdrive this car if they think they're going to improve their position.
Yeah, they are, and oh my goodness, it's so intense in the middle of the pack as we're seeing right now. There were 3 wide through the taunter and somehow made it work. This is the last corner that Cook just needs them to get through, and you can see that white flag. Next flag will end the race, and it looks like they will. David Cook is going to take the white flag. What another just brilliant drive from David Cook, as he just has to hold on for 1 more lap with Michael Mata and Tony Iverson, who have had the same amount of speed as him all day today, breathing down his neck. Here we go. Can David Cook do it? As Iverson looking to the bottom of Mata is going to complete the pass for 2nd place. Does Tony Iverson? It's about a 0.7 of a second lead. Can he somehow get it done? Or is this David Cook's day here at Pocono?
What a move. Meanwhile, back there, we got Mo, Larry, and Curly all smashing into each other. Redinger managed to make it clear of that, but you got Duval, Parham, Owens, and the 48 of Fritz all dancing with each other. That group of 6 cars looking for a wreck, and it is going to get wild. We want to keep an eye up front with David Cook as he's about to come across and win this thing. But these 6 cars, there's going to be a wreck, Zach. There's going to be
What do we look at? What do we look at, me and Gene, as Parham and Medina are going to drag race this our finish line. Medina going to get that long-earned good finish that he's been waiting for. But let's talk about the 71, Mr. David Cook. My goodness, that guy is impressive. Someone's engine just blew across the start-finish line.
And Owens, he just goes ahead and smashes into Duval just to tell him, hey, congratulations.
Potentially some hurt feelings, potentially some
they're buddy.
fun
They're
times.
just being knuckleheads.
Exactly. As you hear, congratulations.
And he finishes him off.
Get him back.
He finishes him off.
Brilliant. But David Cook getting the butt taps from his competitors. David Cook getting his 2nd win of the season. We talked about that coming in today. David Cook was on the bubble if he had not had that win. Now he has 2 of them. David Cook, just such a fascinating driver, isn't he, Mean Gene? He's always up front. He seems to deal with bad luck as much as any of the other dominant guys in this league. But man, he is showing time and time again that he can find a way to get it done when it comes to winning races.
I tell you what, you got to be pleased to see David Cook again. This guy's winning on Mondays. He's winning on Wednesdays. And now we just see him take his second win on this crazy track. This track is, like you said, it's a Frankenstein. You got 3 different bankings from 3 different tracks. Really interesting. Super speedway, pack racing ability, and then you got to all of a sudden break into the corner and hope that the guy in front of you didn't break sooner than you, or break too late and just go up high and take somebody else out of that race. Let's do a little bit of interviews here, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to do a surprise interview. This guy probably ain't expecting him, but I'm going to pull him in. I'm going to put in Buddy Sully. Buddy, you there, bud?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing great. Mean Gene here. Got Zach also up here. I got to ask you, man, you took the pole. You were running fast. And what happened there at the end? You guys just kind of got spread out. Could you not get back into that draft?
So me and Tony traded spots a few times, and that let Cook and Mata get a gap on us. And after that, I told Tony that I was just going to stay behind him and push him. And I Cook turned 1 a couple times and burned off the right front. So then they were pulling away from me in the corners.
Tell you what, bud, that was a heck of a run. This is only your 3rd start here on Mondays. Need to keep seeing you show up and put up these finishes, man. But it is you got 2 poles and 3 starts. You're running up in the front, top 5 finishes every time you're on the track. Hope to see more of you, ladies and gentlemen. 4th place and your pole sitter, Buddy Sully, in that 21. Thanks, buddy.
Yep, thank you.
All right. Michael Mata. Want to do Michael Mata next?
Well, let's see here. Yeah, that'd be great. You got him?
We got you the 16.
Hey,
how's it going, Michael? Man, another brilliant drive from you. Another one where it looked like at several points you had it. Winning speed again. I got my first question for you. Are we getting enough races out of you to where you will be playoff eligible? And if so, what's your plan from here?
if I race every race from here on out, I can make it. I'm eligible.
Correct.
So I got to make them all.
Cool. And that's the plan.
Tough, but I'll try.
Awesome. And yeah, I mean, you've shown so much speed. Today you definitely got the finish deserved. While we saw last week, fuel strategy, killing that finish as well. What's going to be your strategy going forward? Are you going to be going more for that win you're in type thing, or do you think you can put your way into this thing with the speed and finishes you've been showing?
With the speed I got, I think I might be able to put my way in, but like last week, anything can happen. So if I can win, that'd be great. I wanted to win here so bad. This is my home track. I'm up in Connecticut, so it would have been nice to win here. But third was nice.
Yeah, I mean, definitely an exceptional drive from you. Tell me what it was like going through the field today. We were kind of talking about how it felt like to us from the broadcaster booth. Kind of seemed like a hybrid of like a super speedway race down the straights, but just with so much precision and room for error in every corner.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I didn't pass David with like 7 to go when I was right on his bumper, because I knew if we started battling, guys behind us would catch us. So I wanted to push him ahead to get a second lead, and then I thought we'd be able to battle it out. But then by that point, I wore out my right rears, which is weird in the next gen. This place, yeah, you wear out the rears more than the fronts, so it drives more like a Gen 4 actually here.
Interesting. That'd probably kind of explain the looseness out of 3 that we were seeing. That, yeah, when I was trying to put in laps that I was experiencing, that makes tons of sense. And yeah, you're right. It really is normally a tightness situation with these next gen cars. Well, congrats, Michael Mata. Another great run from you. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
I got to shout out Dodson. He had a great race. Teammate. I run with him. Casebeer couldn't make it. And shout out to the 2 guys who beat me. They were pretty quick. Hopefully I can get them next week.
Yeah, they're no slouches. I would not be ashamed at all to lose the 2 guys who did beat you. Congrats, Michael. Who you got for us next, Mean Gene?
I think you got Tony Iverson. Let's see. What does he got to say, Zach?
We got you, Tony?
I'm here.
Oh, Tony. Oh, I could feel it. I could hear it in your voice. I know.
Hey, that doesn't sound good, does it?
I know. It sounded like he just got punched in the gut, which is essentially him assuming what he feels like. So, Iverson, what I feel like just happened, and I guess take me through this part. Did you, in your mind, have the race won before that caution?
No.
Okay.
I did not. I was about a lap and a half short on fuel. Yeah, I was the only one out of everybody I was racing with that wouldn't make it. For some reason, I just I just used gas. I don't know, but
What
I
you get
wasn't
for
gonna
leaving.
make it. Right.
It's because you're fat. Like, more time.
But yeah, they everybody else was good, so I was I was hoping for a caution. I was happy to come down pit road first, and then the previous 2 or 3 times we had been down pit road, literally every single time I either ran into somebody or I slid through my pit box, and I slid through my pit box again on the last stop. And I let everybody get ahead of me, and I think that's what did it. But you know, I was still happy to get second because, like Mato was saying, he was pushing them out there, and the gap was staying steady because of their drafting. So I was like, well, damn, like if they don't start racing each other, then I'm screwed. And then he fell off a little bit. I still had a lot of speed in the car, but just not enough time to catch them guys. So that was a good win by Cook, and it was fun racing. It doesn't hurt as bad getting second, so you know, it is what it is, though.
That's true. We've seen you have them take away from you, and you end up with like a teens finish. So you're right. And yeah, thank you for clarifying that for us. We were plugging a sponsor when the pit road drama happened. Got to pay the bills. So we were speculating, and we figured that's probably what it was, because it looked like you lost like, I think 3 spots when that happened. And yeah, I think late in the race, that is enough for it to be your race. The guy who did win, Cook, took a 4-second quicker stop than you guys, so telling me 2 tires. We saw a few guys do that throughout the day, guys like Parham. Did you feel like that was a thing that could have been advantageous, just like being in the lead? Was it not worth it to you? Or what did you feel like was how you could possibly make 2 tires work, and what was the key to getting past those guys? Because it seemed like their speed was kind of lacking in areas that made it difficult to get runs on them.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a couple styles of racing this track tonight. I think that personally, I like to save quite a bit on the rubber side of things, so that when it comes down to it, if I have to take 2 tires, it would be not, as bad. But at the same time, I was so far up in the front that I was willing to lose a couple spots for the tires, and sliding through the box definitely hurt. But it wasn't really on my mind to take 2, although I know it works pretty well at this track. I didn't want to risk it. I felt like I could pass a couple cars, and it would be worth those 2 tires.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that at all. In that situation, I can tell you I would have done the same thing. Well, great job as always, Tony. I mean, in terms of points, you're definitely going to make it interesting for that regular season championship with Redinger. You went up 6 spots last week with that win. Another great finish today. I believe you're in the stage points, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be a great point stay for you. So congrats on that. And I'm excited to watch you in these next 3 races. Any shout outs you want to throw out before you take off today?
As always, I got to do my ceremonial shout out to the broadcast. Love watching it. Can't wait to check this one out. Really curious to see what some of these wrecks looked like, because some of them are in my mirror, some of them are right in front of me. So I can't wait to check that out. But and then I want to shout out David for the win. That was a good run, and then Buddy and Owens for running with me in the chat.
Oh, for sure. It's always a good time to run with Owens in the chat. And only heard great things about Buddy. He's awesome. Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you for the donations week after week. We do accept those, guys. Man, Tony just being the biggest sweetheart every week. Thank you, man. Congrats on their great finish.
Yeah, you guys have a good one.
You too. That's Tony Iverson, the Dominator, running in that 13 Toyota. I'll tell you what, Zach, they say all roads lead to home, but Cook's Boulevard leads to Victory Lane. David Cook, the 71 Chevrolet driver. Do we got you, David?
You got me, guys.
I'll tell you what, I have decided now, Cook's Boulevard, it leads straight to Victory Lane. You're riding that thing strong. You are just putting together win after win after win. This is your 2nd win on Mondays. You're going to make your way into the playoffs on that race count. What is your secret? What do you see? Like, is there a golden path on the ground, like that green line in the old F1 game? What's happening to you?
Yeah, it's just keeping your head down and just believing in yourself and your talents, and just having people that cheer you on and letting you know that you can do it. And just, I don't know, man. I don't know how the heck I got this one tonight. I thought it was over, and yeah, this is awesome.
Really, really strong run. I mean, David, you were one of the fastest. I think you had the third fastest lap in practice, so you couldn't be too surprised that your car was going to be able to make those moves. But there was so much of that super speedway pack racing going on down those straightaways. I mean, you had to be really happy to see Iverson and Mata go side by side so many times. Were you looking backwards at all to see what was happening back there those last 4 laps?
Once the last 4 laps hit, it was pretty much I just figured head down, try not to look in the mirror, and just keep going forward. I knew they were there, and I did see Iverson move up to second, so I knew he was coming. So I made sure on the last corner there, I dove it in there pretty good to make sure he couldn't get to my back bumper or anything. But yeah, it was crazy racing. The pack racing was unbelievable. You were at the draft with people and get side drafts off one another, and yeah, it was something else.
Did you change your line when Mata was on your tail with about like 7 and 8 laps to go? Looked like you might have been running a little bit lower of a line. You're really managing to make that apron work for you. Was that a conscious decision at that point?
It was really just trying to figure out where the grip was at that point, because I had taken the 2 tires on the outside, and so by that time the car was really not that much fun to drive, and it was honestly quite a handful. So I just kept trying to go anywhere where I could find grip. So in a way, maybe so. Trying to, keep that bottom line from him being able to get a nose clear in there. But, it was pretty rough those last few laps of those tires, but we got it.
I can imagine. Were you confident though with the tires? Because we saw Justin Parham come in and not take tires after that second caution on that pit. Were you aware that he had skipped the tires and managed to stay top 5 on that run, or were you just taking a shot in the dark?
It was kind of a shot in the dark. I was wanting to take 4, but at the last second, I'm like, well, I don't know, take 2 here and try to get myself some track position. And after that, I was just, I was really worried, because I figured 4 tires here, they'd be able to get top runs on me, no problem and stuff. So it was just really just trying to maintain what I had going on up front. And I feel like I'm lucky on this one tonight.
What do you think, Zach? Better to be lucky than good any night?
Oh yeah, for sure. And we are glossing over one thing, and we still got Sully here, so I gotta know, and I'm not gonna sleep until we know, me and Gene. What happened in that one pit stop early in the race, guys? Did you guys both change your mind at the same time?
So I was trying to fake him out to make him take the pits because he was fast. So I wanted him trapped in the back of the pack, and I thought he wasn't taking the bait, so I straightened the car out, and the next thing I know, he was just across my nose.
And David?
I think he was checking out this SimWrap market.com wrap, and it was just like, man, look at that thing. Boom. I think it was my bad as well. It was my bad, because I think he was there. And then after the last second, I was like, no, I need to pit for fuel here. And then it was gone. It was over. I was spinning out. It was started.
That's amazing. I'll tell you, our first theory on the broadcast was the wrap. That's what we thought initially. Like, well, it's obviously the wrap, so you need to get closer to it. I mean, we've all been there. We got it. But our second thing, I will say, we said 50-50. We thought it was kind of like, like some trickery, and then just the timing not working out. But it was very entertaining for us.
Look, I mean, the 2 of you still ended up in the, exactly. One in victory lane and the other one in 4th. Really close, Buddy Sully. He took the pole, could have easily made his way back up into that podium right there. Really good run, David. Congratulations, my friend. Looking forward to see what you do on Mondays and Wednesdays. Ladies and gentlemen, again, keep watching MRL Broadcasting live here on YouTube, and you're going to continue to see a fight between these guys. Buddy, we're going to see you running these races the rest of the year.
I'll be here, but it's going to be bi-weekly, so I have to miss every other week because of work.
Work? What is that's a 4-letter word, my friend. Yeah.
I'll be back for Homestead though, and it's one of my favorite tracks. So we'll see.
There we go. So we're gonna continue to see this fight between Cook, Iverson, and don't forget Kenneth Redinger. He is your points leader running in sixth tonight. But Kenneth will be up there, and buddy, every time you're on the track, bud, you're hitting a pole or you're hitting the top 5. So these are some names we're going to keep seeing week after week. But again, thank you, buddy, and especially David Cook, your winner tonight, the number 71 Chevrolet, piloting that Chevrolet to a victory at Pocono. Second win of the year. Congratulations, David.
Thanks, guys, so much. Appreciate it.
Who do you want to say thanks to, bud?
Michael. That was great racing with you guys tonight. Awesome job. My sponsor, SimRepMarket.com. Those guys, all my support, my family, my little dog Enzo. You guys for the broadcast every week, and everybody watching. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. That's that 71 to David Cook, his second win of the year. We're going to see those points as they are adjusted, but he will not be in 12th come next week. Remember, Joe Volpus not racing today. That's going to make him drop in points. And as well, Jonathan Casabeer, the number 8 driver, not running. And that is just going to put Cook further and further up that points, and that's going to give him bonus points leading into our championship race. This was race 7 at Pocono. We will be next week, race 8, as it closes down. What a race, Zach. I did not expect these guys to be so packed up tight, but we saw some good stuff out there.
Yeah, I love this one, Mean Gene. We got really, I don't want to say lucky, but I keep saying spoiled. I guess I'll just keep saying at the end of these races, spoiled again. I loved when the cautions flew. Looking at the stats from season 1, knowing to expect 6 with the field size they had last year, I was expecting a fairly hectic race today, and what we got was a nice combination of really hard.
Only 5 cautions.
5 in a bigger pack, and we got very, very hard racing. I mean, like, based on the action on track, we could have had 20 cautions, but just such exceptional racing from everybody in the field. I can't say enough good things about all these guys. And this league just continues to become more and more fascinating and tell compelling stories. With now we have 4 winners this year, and 3 of them have multiple wins, have 2 each. Yet the points battle in the middle of the pack amongst guys who can absolutely win a race any given day in this league. I'm talking Parham, Medina, Dodson, Solly, Mata, Fritz, Owens. The list goes on and on and on. Stinson, Lewis. I mean, oh my goodness. And I know him, and I apologize if I'm forgetting you, because there's so many guys in this league who are just knocking on that door to get their first win, to where anything can happen between the point differential and how just the parity in this league is making it so fascinating week in and week out to see who's going to come out on top. But man, we got 3 guys out here who are just the class of the field, and it's going to be fun to watch them. But yeah, another amazing race, me and Gene. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to Kevin Kyle for the amazing work today. He levels up every week. And thank you to Kevin. Yeah. Also, that one day we won't have to deal with that. I'm just kidding. But I also want to shout out Kevin Kyle. With me and Gene, we came to him with a bunch of crazy ideas today. We didn't give him any warning for the broadcast for Zach on track and for some new stats we wanted to show. And Kevin's always there rolling with the punches. So I can't say enough about him as a producer, and also his trophy company, Cook, Iverson, Jax, and who else has 2 in this league? What do we got? Oh, Redinger, duh. Redinger, hit up our boy KK. He makes some gorgeous trophies. We're going to have to post some pictures of the ones he's made for me next week. Because you guys deserve them, and they are awesome mementos to celebrate these awesome accomplishments and very difficult things to do to win these races here. But shout out to Kevin, shout out Daily Drivers Inc., San Amateur Stores, and this amazing field, and you as well, me and Gene, best partner ever.
Hey man, this has been my pleasure to bring these races with my partners to you at home. Please take this opportunity, hit like, hit subscribe, tell your friends. Let's keep this thing rolling. MRL Broadcasting, Monday and Wednesday, we bring it to you live. We do some recaps of our Thursday racing. If you're a racer at home and you want to get involved, contact David Owens, John Beverly, or Joe Volpus. Get involved in our Friday nights. We run street stocks. We run the Wheelin' Modifieds. That's a great place to get started. If you're a veteran driver, why don't just contact them, show them your rating, and you can jump right into one of these leagues. This is season 3 of our MRL Monday Night Mayhem Cup Series, and you too can be a part of that. It's exciting, it's growing, and why don't you get involved? And ladies and gentlemen, it's been my pleasure. I hope you had a wonderful time. I know I did. Going to sign off. Mean Gene Money, also Zach Panzarella, KK in the pits. And as always, bottoms up and hammer down.